Hello. In the first chapter, Unit 1, at CS 205, Programming in C. Chapter name Programming Methodology and Introduction to C Language. The first chapter I have explained to you. First chapter I have explained to you what is a problem, and how to define the problem. What is a problem and how to define the problem, and what are the steps involved in problem solving, and what is an algorithm, and how to write an algorithm. These topics I have explained to you in the first topic, first video or previous video, very clear, very clear. So this chapter begins with problem. Actually, the first chapter begins with the problem and problem solving steps. Problem and problem solving steps. So in the first chapter, I have clearly explained what do you mean by a problem. A problem, a problem is a problem is a work or situation. A problem may be a work or situation which we are which we are trying to solve. So before going to the second topic, i will explain I will explain the review or the points which I have discussed in the first chapter, okay. So the first chapter, that is problem and the problem and problem solving steps, problem and problem solving steps. And algorithm and the steps for writing an algorithm, and simple algorithms and simple algorithms. So I have clearly explained a problem may be a situation or work. A problem may be a situation or work which we are trying to solve. A problem is a situation or work which we are trying to solve. So for solving any problem, first of all we have to clearly understand the problem. First of all we have to clearly understand the situation or understand the problem. Then only we can solve it. So there are some steps. Those steps are defining the problem, defining the problem, analyzing the problem, decide on a solution, implement, implementing the solution, implementing the solution, and reviewing the results. These are the 5 steps involved, or the stages involved in problem solving. And when coming into the implementation, it means that we got a solution and we picked a solution from the alternative solutions, and we are trying to implement it. We are trying to implement that solution. We are trying to implement it. We are trying to implement that solution. We are trying to implement that solution. Okay. We are trying to implement that solution. So implementation, if you are solving a problem with the help of the computer, if you are solving a problem with the help of the computer, we need to write some steps that can be understandable by the computer. That is a computer language that understand by the machine. The language which can be understood by the machine, that is a computer language. It is called a program. A program is a step-by-step or a set of instructions, step-by-step process or set of instructions which can be understandable by the computer, which can be understandable by the computer, written in a computer understandable language for solving the problem with the help of the computer. So before writing a program in any language, we have so many languages. We are learning C language. So we have so many languages. So before writing any program, first of all we have to write that steps for solving that problem in a simple language, simple English language, in a simple English language. This is called algorithm. An algorithm is a step-by-step process. An algorithm is a step-by-step process written in a simple English language. An algorithm is a step-by-step process written in a simple English language to convert it into a program of any computer understandable programming language. An algorithm is a language independent. It does not depend to any language. It is written in an English language steps. It is a step-by-step process. The algorithm always starts with start. Start should be the first step. Generally, start is the first step in an algorithm, and stop is the last, or end is the last step. In between this start and stop, the process will be written in a simple English language. And we have seen some algorithms. We have seen some algorithms, that is addition of two numbers, finding the largest or biggest number among three numbers, and how to find out the factorial of a number. So, in finding the addition of two numbers, the algorithm may be written as, the algorithm is written as start declaring three variables, declaring three variables, start declaring three variables or three numbers, for storing two numbers, two variables, and for storing result is another variable. It is just like a is equals to 10, b is equals to 20, and c is equals to a plus b, and print c. That we write in a simple English words, simple English understandable language. It is called an algorithm. It is called an algorithm, right? That algorithm is converted it into a computer understandable language, which is called a program. Which is called a program. That program is executed by the computer, and it gives the output, right? So the continuation of an algorithm is flowcharts. The continuation of an algorithm is flowcharts. That flowcharts we are going to learn in this class, in this video. Flowcharts we are going to learn in this video, in this class. Okay. So what do you mean by a flowchart? What do you mean by a flowchart? A flowchart is a diagrammatical representation. A flowchart is a diagrammatical representation of an algorithm. In a simple words, we say a flowchart is a diagrammatical representation of an algorithm. In a simple words, we say a flowchart is a diagrammatical representation of an algorithm. Diagrammatical representation of an algorithm. Okay. So what are the steps we have written in an algorithm? Whatever the steps we have written in algorithm, that steps we are going to written inside some pictures, inside some symbols, for better understanding, for easy understanding. It is called a pictorial form. It is called a diagrammatical form. It's called a pictorial form and it is called a diagrammatical form. The flowchart contains some symbols for start, stop, input, output, for start, stop, input, output, and for process, like that. It contains some symbols. By drawing that symbols, by inserting or drawing that symbols based on the step, if it is you are writing, if you want to write input statement, input step, then we have to take the input symbol. If you want to write process, that is a process step, that is a process step, process, you have to take the process symbol. If you are writing, if you are writing, if you want to take any decision like a greater than b, a greater than c, or whether a person is eligible for vote, it is nothing but checking a condition, checking a condition by using some relational operators, checking a condition, checking a condition, right? So for this purpose there are some symbols differ from one process to another process. By using that symbols, we write flowcharts. An algorithm is a simple words. It is in a written form. The algorithm is a written form. The algorithm is a written form and the flowchart is a pictorial form. The algorithm is a written form and the flowchart is a pictorial form. It is a pictorial form, picture form. Pictorial means it is a picture form. Here the difference between the algorithm and flowchart is here. The difference between the algorithm and flowchart is algorithm is a written form, written steps, written model, and the flowchart is a pictorial form, picture representation, and it uses some simple picture form and arrows to show relationship between process and data flow. It uses some simple picture form and arrows to use to show the relationship between the process and data flow. These are the symbols. These are some special symbols generally we use for developing, for writing flowcharts. These are the symbols we use generally for writing or for developing the flowcharts. Just observe the symbol. What is that? The first symbol, the first symbol, that is a flow line, indicates the flow of logic by connecting symbols. First symbol is a flow line symbol. First symbol is a flow line symbol, indicates the flow of logic by connecting symbols. Indicates the flow of logic by connecting symbols. And second symbol is start or stop, terminal, start or stop, represents the start and end the process, represent the start and end, the end of a flowchart. So it means that when you are writing a start, an algorithm always begins with start and end with end. An algorithm is always begin with start and end with end. Okay, an algorithm is always start with start and end with end. So the first start step use this symbol, and end step use this end symbol. The next symbol, that is input and output. The next symbol, input and output, for both input as well as output. Input as well as output. If you are taking any input into a program, it means for adding two numbers, we have to take two numbers into that algorithm or into that program. That is nothing but input, taking input. Okay, so if you are writing input means, if you are taking input means, we have to use this input symbol. So, and as well as for output also, input as well as output, this symbol is used for input as well as output purpose. This symbol is used for input as well as output purpose. And output means, that is displaying the result. Output is the displaying the result. Output is the displaying the result. Displaying the result, that is an output, right? So the next, that is that is processing. Processing means that is the same algorithm, that is a is equals to 10, b is equals to 20, that is input, and the process is c is equals to a plus b. C is equals to a plus b is the process. A is equals to 10, b is equals to 20 is the input, and c is equals to a plus b is the process. C is equals to a plus b is the process. C is equals to a plus b is the process. So then print C is the output. So here input symbol, output symbol, and process symbol. These three different statements, but only two symbols. Here the statements are three statements, that is input statement, process statement, and output statement. Input statement, process statement, and output statement. But the symbols are only two. Why? For input statement as well as output statement, we use only one symbol. We use only one symbol. We have to remember, you have to remember, or we have to remember this point. For input as well as output, we use only one symbol. We use only one symbol. So the input symbol, output symbol, both are same. We going to read two numbers, a is equals to sum and b is equals to sum, input in input symbol, and the process symbol, that is c is equals to a plus b is the process. C is equals to a plus b is the process, that is the process symbol. C is equals to a plus b is the process, and that is the process symbol. Process symbol, clear? Process symbol, right? And the next one is output symbol. Output symbol is, that is same, that is same, print C or display C, print C or display C, right? The next one is the decision symbol. So what is the purpose of this decision symbol? What is the purpose of decision symbol? If you want to check the conditions in the program, if you want to check the conditions in the program, so that is if a greater than b, if you want to check the biggest number in between two numbers, if you want to check the biggest number in between two numbers, that is if a greater than b, that is if a greater than b. So a greater than b, you want to check the condition, that is a greater than b. It means that you are checking a condition whether a value is big or whether b value is big, whether a value is big or whether b value is big. So for that purpose, there is a special symbol, that is called decision symbol. That is called decision symbol, used for decision making between two or more alternatives. Used for decision making between two or more alternatives. Two or more alternatives. Okay. So this is for decision symbol. And remaining symbols: on page connector, off page connector, predefined process or function. Right. So on page connector. What is this on page connector? Used to join different flow lines. Used to join different flow lines. The flow line is the first symbol, that is the arrow, where the process is going, where in which direction the process is moving, in which direction the process is moving, in which direction the process is moving. Okay, so that is on page connector used to join different flow lines, used to join different flow lines. And next, off page connector. Off page connector is used to connect the flowchart portion, used to connect the flowchart portion on a different page, used to connect the flowchart portion on a different page, used to connect the flowchart portion on a different page, that is off page connector, off page connector. And the next one is predefined process or function. Predefined process or function represents a group of statements performing one process task. It means that a program is a collection of statements, and a program has so many functions. There are some predefined functions and user defined functions, which you are going to see in the further classes, further videos. You are going to see the further classes or further videos. Okay, so if you are writing a function, if you are writing a user defined function to perform a certain task, to perform a certain work, so for that purpose, the symbol is predefined process or function. Predefined process or function. The symbol is predefined process or function. This symbol generally uses this symbol, predefined process or function symbol. Okay? Predefined process or function symbol. So these are the symbols generally used in the flowcharts. These are the symbols generally used in the flowcharts, right? So here the symbols, once again I am explaining the symbols. First one is the flow line. Second one is the terminal stop or start. Then next input output. The next one is processing. And the next one is the decision symbol. The next one is the on page connector, off page connector, on page connector, off page connector, predefined processor function. So maximum and the maximum we are going to we use this kind of symbols. Generally we use these kind of symbols, these symbols for developing, the flowcharts, for developing the flowcharts. A flowchart is a diagrammatical representation or pictorial representation. A flowchart is a diagrammatical or pictorial representation of an algorithm. Okay, so generally these are the symbols used for developing the flowcharts. Flow line, terminal, start or stop, input output, processing, decision, on page connector, off page connector, predefined process or functions. So here the flowchart to calculate the addition of two numbers. Here the flowchart to calculate the addition of two numbers. Start, declare variables n1 comma n2 and sum. Read n1 and n2, sum n1 plus n2, display sum, stop. Here the start, declare variables n1 comma n2 and sum. Read n1 and n2, sum is equals to n1 plus n2 and display sum. Display sum. Stop. So here the first one is the start symbol, both are same. Start and stop symbol, both are same. And the arrow marks are the flow lines. The arrow marks are the flow lines together to connect the process one by one, to connect the process one by one. And second one is declare variable n1 comma n2 and sum. Declare variables n1 comma n2 and sum. It is a process instruction. It is a process instruction. In order to calculate anything in the computer, first of all we need to create some memory to store that values. We need to create some memory to store that values. To calculate anything in the computer through a program in any language, in any computer language, first of all we have to store that values in the computer memory. First of all, we have to store that numbers in the computer memory. Then only, then only we can process, we can calculate, and we can show the output. So that is called variable. So what is this variable, and how to what is this variables, and how to create or how to declare a variable? So that in detail we are going to see in the second chapter, that is variable, constants, data types. In order to declare a variables, we need to understand, we need to know data types. Okay, so about this data types and variables, okay, so this we'll see in the second chapter, unit 2, that is unit 2. So now just understand, a variable means it is a memory location. It is a memory location to store a value. It is a memory location to store a value. It is a memory location to store a value. Okay. And next, input symbol, that is read N1 and N2. Read N1 and N2 is the input symbol. And then sum is equals to N1 plus N2. Display sum. Here, reading a value, from the input devices, from the user through the input devices, that is called input operation. That is called input operation. So the input operation is written in the symbol input output symbol, in the symbol input as well as output symbol, input as well as output symbol. And then next, sum is equals to n1 plus n2. Here it means n1, the value which is there in the location n1, and the value which is there in the location n2, both together added and stored in a location called sum. Okay, so here sum comma n1 comma n2 are called as location names. These are called as variables, and in a simple meaning, the location names. Location names, memory location names, are names of a memory location. This is a process. This is a process instruction. This is a process instruction. Generally, we write in a symbol, process symbol. This we write in a process symbol. This we write in a process symbol. The process instruction write in a process symbol. Okay, clear? Then next, display sum. So display sum is a output. You are showing the output. You are giving the output. It means that after taking the input and doing some operation, that is addition, ultimately it gives an output. It gives an output. If you take any problem, after solving it, we will get some output. Any problem, if any problem, after solving it, we get some result, we get some output, that we have to show with the symbol called output. Here both input as well as output symbols are same. Here both input as well as output symbols are same. Both symbols are same. And then next, stop. And then next, stop symbol. That is the stop. So what is this stop? Like start. When you begin the process, when the process begins, the always a algorithm or a flowchart begins with the stop. It means this is the first step. It indicates it is the first step in the process. It indicates it is the first step in the process. And the stop. Stop is the last step. The stop is the last step or end of the process. Stop is the last step or end of the process. We have to understand that the stop is the last step or end of the process. Stop is a last step or end of the process. The last step or end of the process. So this is the way of writing a flow chart. This is the way of writing a flow chart. Just observe this. Observe this. Start, declaration, input, process, output, and then stop, and then stop. So this is another algorithm. This is another algorithm. Find the largest among three different numbers entered by the user. Find the largest among three different numbers entered by the user. Find the largest number among three different numbers entered by the user. Here the first step is start. We already know an algorithm or a flowchart always begins with start. Always begins with start and end with stop. Always begin with start and end with stop. Okay? Always begin with start and end with stop. Then declaration of memory locations. Here means it requires three locations, that is three memory locations, that is three numbers. It requires three memory locations means three numbers. Three numbers, that is A, B, C. A, B, C. A, B, C requires three locations for storing three values, one A, second B, third C. 1 into A, 2 into B, second number into B, third number into C. Okay, third number into C. And then reading this, reading the numbers. And then reading the numbers. Reading the numbers, read three numbers. So here we are comparing three numbers, that is out of these three, which is highest, which is largest among these three numbers, which is the largest number among these three numbers, which is the largest number. Here we are comparing, we are finding out, the largest number among the three numbers. Here we are finding out the largest number among three numbers. So that it requires three variables. So that it requires three variables, A comma B comma C. So read A comma B and C is the input symbol to read three numbers, and then out of these three, here we need to take, we have to draw the process in a decision symbol. We have to draw the next process in a decision symbol. We have to draw the next process in a decision symbol. That is, it means that we are checking the condition. It means that we are checking the condition. It means that we are checking the condition. It means that we are checking the condition, right? So we are checking the condition. What is that condition? What is that condition? Is A greater than B? Out of these three numbers, we are checking the condition. Is A greater than B? Out of these three numbers, we are checking the condition, that is A greater than B? If A is greater than B, for example, if the value of A 50 and the value of B is 40, Just assume the value of A is 50 and the value of B is 40. So simply by seeing it, we say that the value A is big. By seeing it, we say that the value of A is big in general. We say. Here we have to draw this step. Here we have to draw this step. That is or if. You can use is or if. It is a simple manner, understandable manner. Means here we are checking a condition. Here we are checking a condition. Okay. So that is A greater than B. For example, the value already I told you, that is A 50 and B 40. The value, that is A 50 and B 40. Okay. So yes, is A greater than B? Yes. The value of A is big, then the value of B 50 40. So if it is true, we have to check another condition, if A greater than C also, because here three numbers are there. If only two numbers are there, means if A greater than B, okay, clear, true, A is big, otherwise B is big, otherwise B is big. I will show you, I will show you this in a Word document. First of all, I will show you how to check, how to write a flow chart, how to write a flow chart, how to write a flow chart for two numbers. Then I will explain this three. For two numbers, then I will explain this three. Okay. Here for two means, here the two numbers are there. If A greater than B, if A greater than B, if A greater than B, A greater than B, that is true. Here A is big for two numbers. If you assume it is for two numbers, it is for two numbers. Is A greater than B? Yes, A greater than B. Then it is A is big here. Print A. This will come here. This will come here. This will come here. Print A. So otherwise B is big. This will come here. If you are taking two numbers, if you are writing a flow chart for finding out largest in between two numbers, largest in between two numbers, okay, largest in between two numbers, it is enough. Then I will show you, then I will show you that is I am taking this Word document. Where is that Word document? Word document. In that one, I am taking some symbols, various symbols, shapes. Okay. For this one, this symbol. This is the input symbol. No. This is the input symbol. This is the process symbol. And these are the flow lines. These are the flow lines. This is also one kind of flow line. Here I am taking one more output symbol. Shapes, output symbol. Where is the output symbol? This is the output symbol. One more output symbol. Where is the output symbol? This is the output symbol. Shapes. For example, if you are checking two conditions in a program, that is start declaration of two variables a and b. If a greater than b, then print a is big. Otherwise, if it is true, a is big, otherwise b is big. If a is big, otherwise b is big. And this is the end process. This is for two numbers. This is for two numbers. Okay? This is for two numbers. Here, here it is for three numbers. Here it is for three numbers. Here it is for three numbers. Largest among three different numbers. Start declare variables a comma b comma c. Read a b and c. Is a greater than b? True. Is b greater than c? Is a greater than c? It means that if it is true, it again checking the condition a greater than c. If it is true, it again checking the condition, that is a greater than c. If it is false, the condition is again if b greater than c. Again it is true, if e is a greater than c, again it is true, it shows print a, it shows print a. If it is false, print b. If it is false, print b. Or else, if a is not big and b is also not big, then ultimately c is big. If a is not big and b is not big, then ultimately c is big, then the final is c. The final result is C. If A big or B big or C big, and the final is stop or end. Start or stop or ending the process. Stop or ending the process. So this is a way of writing a flow chart. This is a way of writing a flow chart. Okay. So these are the symbols used in flow chart. Once again, I am explaining the symbols used in flow charts. Okay, the first is the flow line, and second one is the start or stop symbol, and third one is the input output, and fourth one is the process symbol, and next one is the decision symbol, and next one is the on page connector, and next one is the off page connector, and the next one is the predefined process or function. Predefined process or function. Okay, so these are the symbols used in flowchart. So an algorithm is a written form. Algorithm is a written form, written steps. Algorithm is a written form, written steps and the flowchart is a pictorial or picture representation. A flowchart is a pictorial form or picture representation. Okay, this is the difference between the way of writing. This is the way of writing algorithm and the way of writing, the way of drawing flowcharts. In the next class I will explain again flowchart as well as the differences between algorithm and flowcharts. Flowchart and the difference between algorithm and flowcharts. Okay, thank you.